Welcome to the Coquitlam Whiskey Barrel Podcast with your hosts, Uncle Corey and Uncle Dono.
Recording off some bullshit.
He left his Stanley Cup back on the ice in 1980.
It's embarrassing.
Let's give Corey a round of applause like you were the fucking service staff at a wedding.
Who shot ya? Separate the weak from the obsolete.
Oh yeah, I pulled the trigger early.
I was looking the other way. Sorry guys, didn't mean to waste 8 seconds of your time there.
You didn't. I cracked it right at 1 second. I always crack it right away.
Well, I wasn't looking. I was turning up the volume. I was turning the phones on.
Like, it's my commitment to this podcast is knowing that every time I come here, I have to crack a beer and drink it right away.
When we start the podcast?
Like six seasons straight, every random Tuesday or Thursday night we get together. I know I have to drink a beer.
It's funny.
So I always bring two, because if you're going to have one, you might as well just have two beers and call it a night.
Well,
right?
You're not a fucking homeless person.
No.
You're going to have more than one beer.
Yeah.
You're not just going to take it easy. Like, it's not that you have to get shit canned, but if you're going to have a beer and talk about football, you might as well have the second one in the chamber. Because if you want another beer, you can say... Then you can make the decision whether or not you're going to have one or not, right? Like if you have one beer.
I never have one beer.
Who does?
The only time I ever have one beer is if I have time for a quick beer. Like, if it's like, hey,
give me an example.
I got Ash is getting ready.
Yep.
Do something or whatever. Or she's going out or whatever it is.
Sure.
And I got like half an hour. And
right.
And my neighbor Mike walks by. Hey man, what are you doing?
Right.
Nothing. Want to come in for a quick beer? I'm leaving in like 20 minutes. Yeah, come in for a quick beer.
Right. That's a perfect example.
Sit, shoot the shit for 20 minutes, have a beer. That's my one beer.
And it sets like almost like a timeline. Like we're gonna have a beer, but that's what we're having.
Yeah.
We're not having one beer and then we're gonna chat for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Because if this is gonna go 5 hours, we're gonna get more beer.
Yeah.
Because I've never been a beer guy.
I've never been like a one beer guy myself either, because like in that situation, why do I need to put alcohol into my system? I can just have an iced tea. They're delicious.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
Why do the sugar's probably worse?
Right. Oh, of course. But it's
the poison that this is.
But it's as a vodka guy, it's you can have one drink, but determine the level of buzz you want from the one drink. So if you're gonna come over and we might turn into 5 or we might turn into nothing, then I can have one strong drink versus one easy drink because we got to go do something real quick.
I can bring a 6-pack over. You can pour half a Mickey into a glass, and we call it even.
Yeah, for sure. I could. Yeah.
Yours is one drink, mine's 6.
Yeah, no question. I could do a half a Mickey and 2 drinks easy.
Right.
Easy.
Yeah.
Like not a problem at all. So that's why it's there's no situation. It's funny because the only time that I would ever even probably be drinking beer out in the wild would be a 1 or 2 beer situation. Stop by, just the reverse of what you just described.
But in the process of drinking, though, like in the times I've ever seen you drinking beer, it's like, God, I'm really thirsty. I just need a beer.
Right? Yeah. Like
I've been drinking all day. I need to have a beer
like
to quench my thirst.
Substitute of water. Yeah. Or it would be if I'm Mike in your story. And it's like, oh yeah, you want to pop by, or like it's like I'm helping somebody with something, or I'm just going to pop in or drop something off. You want a beer? Fuck it, yeah, sure. Like if it's like I just run into you and we can have a quick one.
Hey, can you help me move this couch?
Sure.
You want a beer after?
100%. It's
now it's not the same as Guinness. That's different because that's an experience.
Well, Guinness is probably like it sounds like I'm lying or about it because nobody drinks Guinness that much, but I just don't drink beer so much that I've probably had, like, and I mean just like lagers, like Canadians. Yep. Like I'm like, other than if we don't include high school where it was just Wildcat and Black Label Supreme and whatever, right? But then even by the time I was like 17, me and Kurt would get like a Mickey and a 6-pack, and we would share that, and that would be a Saturday night.
Right.
So it'd be like 3 beers and then like a rum and Coke or rum and root beer or whatever the fuck, or root beer schnapps or something.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Or 3 or 4 of us would split like a 2-6 a Jack and a 12-pack or something like that. But I never was the solo vodka guy at all. But Guinness, on the other hand, I will have. But Guinness is a perfect 1 or 2 beer.
Guinness is a good sit down in a bar for 1 beer.
Fuck
I'll
yeah,
have a Guinness.
because you can enjoy it while you're drinking it.
Well, it's the problem with just asking for a lager, especially for me, is it needs to be finished in 5 minutes because at that point, now it's gotten too warm.
Yeah.
I need my beer cold, so I just drink it fast.
And I need everything cold. It's part of the reason of the clinking of the ice, because even while I just have, what is this, Diet Dr. Pepper here, but it's still the clinking of the ice, because I always need my drinks cold. I need tons of ice. I'm an ice guy. So I'm an ice guy in my water at home. I'm an ice guy in my fucking apple juice. Like, I don't drink apple juice, but if I had apple juice, I would pour it over ice. So I'm ice on fucking everything. That is probably one of the reasons that I got into hard bar in the first place.
You like ice?
I'm just like a cold drink. Like I don't like warm anything. Like a warm, like if in your scenario there, if we open a lager, like if I have like a Coors Light,
Sure.
like if I have it in a couple of minutes, or we'll call it 15 minutes for the 1 beer, or we'll call it 20. But once it gets, like if I ignore it, if I talk too much, by the time, even at the peak of my drinking, by the time it's warm, I probably will just push it to the side, and if we're at a bar, I'll just order a cocktail, or I'm just not finishing that. Because I'm not drinking warm beer, where some guys can kill 12, like, just take it home and just have an unrefrigerated beer. You can't pour beer over ice. It's fucking disgusting.
Oh, Mexico. Oh.
What do you
learn how to do it?
You pour beer over ice in Mexico?
If you need to. It's so hot. You're on the beach. And
But
you go up to the bar. You just get a glass of ice, pour your beer into it, slam it, and you're done.
Don't you shit your pants after that?
Why would you shit your pants?
Because of the ice.
No, they got better with their ice.
Who's they?
Mexicans?
Mexicans?
The Mexicans.
Or the resorts?
No, the Mexicans. Yeah. The resorts. Sorry. Yeah,
I was gonna
because
say.
all you're drinking is blended drinks down there, pal. It's all
Oh yeah,
ice.
like pina coladas, margaritas.
They get it ordered in. It's all filtered ice.
Oh, okay. So the ice is good.
The ice is good.
Oh, okay.
The water is terrible.
Okay, so it was a legitimate question.
The water isn't terrible. The water is just terrible for us because we have weak systems. The Mexicans can drink the shit out of that water because they're used to it.
Right. That's probably why they don't need COVID vaccines.
Also that.
I made that up. I have no idea what the vaccine rate.
I never drank beer. I didn't start drinking beer when I was high school drinking because I hated it. It was disgusting, and it was always a pain point for the guy or whoever was buying me booze.
Right.
You couldn't just grab me a case of beer. It's like, no, I want.
Yeah, schnapps and
I was
maybe
still trying to figure
Southern
out,
Comfort.
No,
or
I was still
bullshit.
trying to figure out what I wanted, right? So it would be like, yeah, I'd have some vodka, but then I'd get a sourpuss raspberry,
right.
to mix with it.
Right.
Get a fucking bottle of Hypnotic because I thought it was cool.
Yeah, got it.
And whatever.
And it's easy to drink.
And then I would do shots or just like a little bit of booze and like a lot of juice in a glass and just slam it.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
I drank like I was 16.
So when did you... Yeah. Well,
when I was 16.
Yeah. That's kind of the whole thing.
It took me a process to learn how to like drinking beer.
So if you're going to sit down and order a beer...
Yeah.
So say we're going to go order a beer.
Sure.
We're at a fine restaurant.
Okay.
Like not fine dining. Like we're just at a decent restaurant.
Okay.
You've got a variety.
Okay.
You're going to have 2.
Yeah.
More often than not, I'm not asking what your favorite... kind of. More often than not, what are you ordering?
How many beers do they have on tap?
For the purpose of this conversation, anything you'd like.
Okay.
Not like your dream beer. They don't have delirium. They don't have
No.
some random bullshit that you put fucking mandarin orange.
If I'm going to the keg, I'm not ordering anything on tap. If I'm going to the keg, I'm getting a bottle of Corona or something.
Well, speaking of Guinness, some kegs do have Guinness on tap, and by some, I think it's just one of them, unless.
I went to Brown's the other day.
Perfect. Okay. I don't
I-
know what they have.
and
I don't know
Guinness.
what anybody has on tap.
I asked for a Guinness.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're out of Guinness, unfortunately. We do have a hazy pale ale from Moody Ales. I said that's not.
It's not even
close.
That's not even close.
And then there was some other pale ale from somewhere and an IPA, something, whatever. And obviously I'd gone there for a Guinness, so I had the hazy pale ale. It was terrible.
Okay.
And then I had a cocktail because I wasn't gonna have another beer.
Right. So.
But in that scenario, I'd have a bottle of Corona or Heineken or Stella, I guess.
Yeah.
If I'm just having a.
Yeah. Okay. So lager with some character, a European lager, like
Yeah.
a Heineken,
Yeah.
like a Stella, or a Beck's,
Yeah.
something
Sure.
like that.
Yeah. I drink a lot of Sapporo, my brand. I drink a
Yeah,
lot
but
of
that's
Heineken.
really smooth. That's not funky like a Heineken
Yeah.
or a hazy IPA.
Yeah.
Like, I like to say that I like an IPA, and I definitely went through an IPA a time, like, where it would be, like, part of it was popular, but also part of the, it's just, like, I actually like stuff with lots of character. I like
Right.
lots of flavor.
Yeah.
Like, I like, when it comes to food, like, I like horseradish, I like wasabi, I like sauerkraut, I like mustard. I like big, bitey shit. You know what I mean? So, I don't, like, give me salty over sweet,
Right.
for example.
Sure.
So an IPA kind of goes with that. I don't like the unfiltered IPA. I don't need haziness.
No.
Haziness is, once you learn, it's just kind of laziness. It's like,
Haziness is to save money. Right?
yeah, exactly.
Cut out the filtration.
Yeah, flavor your have a grapefruit lager, because you can hide the fact that you couldn't fucking cold filter 17 times your water lager, which is what a fine cold lager is. Whereas, like, Corona's really good. Somebody was having a Corona the other day in front of me, and I was kind of like, ooh, that's really nice.
Well,
But they
Corona's
didn't-
changed now.
But they didn't have limes. What do you mean it's changed?
Well, they're making Corona now in Canada. So the Corona you're buying in Canada is actually made in Canada, not in Mexico. So it tastes different.
So I wouldn't even know. When did they change it?
Within the last year, I think. Corona and Stella are both made here, but you're still paying import price.
Why? For the branding? For the company?
So Labatt makes money, pal.
Oh.
And but yeah, Corona, and they both taste different because now you're using Canadian water instead of Mexican water instead of European water for Stella.
So that is, interesting.
So Corona's a little bit chewier, a little bit meat. There's more to it.
So so anybody who gets Corona right now, like if Corona is your beer, I can remember what Corona really tastes like, and the shit that you have isn't actually it.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Avid Corona drinkers would have known the difference.
Yeah.
When it changed over.
Whereas the only thing that I can think of is Mexican Corona.
Yeah.
I like Corona. My favorite beer I ever had, the best individual beer I ever had was a Corona.
Of course, if it's hot out and you got a fresh lime and it's ice cold, it doesn't get.
It was exactly that. It was we were on a boat. We didn't have any water. We had
Sounds like prime scenario for a Corona.
Yeah, and then we docked the boat, and I've got 12 Coronas in the lake water. It was like Glacier Lake.
Yep.
And we had the Coronas in there. We were out on the boat for like 4 hours. I think I was 15, 16, and I was so parched. But when we docked it, my buddy's uncle who we were with, he went to the cabin. We went to where we had hid our Coronas in the lake, and to this day, I can still think of reaching into the lake to grab the Corona. That's how good that fucking Corona was. Like, it's still to this day the best individual beer I've ever had. Like, I can probably come up with some situations where I've had a great beer with a great setting, with a great anything, but that holy shit, I'm hot, holy shit, I'm thirsty, holy shit, this is perfect temperature,
right?
And I killed the whole. I drank and like I sat and enjoyed it. I killed the whole thing in one pull.
Right.
That's how good it was. And it was like, took a sip, like, oh shit, that's good. Bottle's gone. The best beer I ever had, I had in 2 sips, and it was a Corona. And I say that with pride.
We all have our own memories.
But who drinks Corona? You know anybody who gets a 12-pack of Corona every time?
Not in a long time. Not in a long time. Summertime, you see it every now and then, but no, it's not what it used to be. That's for sure. I always drank Corona when I was a kid.
Yeah, I like lagers in glass beer. Glass bottles rather.
Of course.
Like, I like an MGD. I like a Miller High Life if I'm in the States. I like those old school.
Well, it's the champagne of beers, pal.
Well, you feel classy. You're like Doug Heffernan. And I like Corona. What else comes in soul shit?
In clear bottles?
Clear bottles.
All the Sleeman products, pal.
Yeah, but I don't drink Sleeman Original Draft.
You should.
No, if I was
cheaper than MGD.
But if I was gonna have that, I'd rather a Pabst. Pabst is my cheap beer of choice.
Pabst is the best.
Now, I've never done the Pabst versus Canadian versus Budweiser versus whatever, like all the generics.
Blind guy.
Which I've done with the other ones, but Pabst hasn't been involved with it.
Well, mix it into the mix.
But I will tell you, sight unseen, and without you supporting the company the way that you do, Pabst would be my, I don't know, like I would never go to like Old Milwaukee or one of those ever. And I could not, there's not a, like I have no idea when the last time I bought a Budweiser for myself to have Budweiser.
I don't think I ever have.
I drank Labatt Blue in high school.
That would be nice.
That would be the 6-pack that I would have with the Mickey if we were splitting stuff. Labatt Blue, we went through a big Labatt Blue phase. But I don't know if that was good.
Mine was vitamin P.
What the fuck is
Pilsner?
Oh, yeah. Tons of I'm drinking tons of Pilsner.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Pacific Pilsner, the cheapest. Remember when that was like $21 for like an 8-pack or whatever, or 18-pack? Like it was ridiculous. Pacific Pilsner.
The Frog used to do $21 for a 15 vitamin P.
Yeah, vitamin P. But you're talking green box Pilsner.
Yeah, Molson Old Style.
Right, and I'm talking Molson Old Style too. But there was Pacific Pilsner.
Still is.
That's still a thing?
Yeah, blue box.
Who the fuck drinks that?
A lot of people, because it's cheap. Cheap.
What is a 24-pack of Pilsner cost right now?
Of vitamin P? Or
your vitamin P. Or well, is there a market difference?
I don't even know
price?
that they make 24 packs of vitamin P.
They've got to. I imagine it's a big green box with that white siding.
They used to make the cube. The pill cube?
Yeah. That doesn't still
A
exist?
24-pack of Pacific Pilsner, $31.50 in the government liquor store.
I feel like that's a good price.
$19.79 for a 15-pack.
$19.79 for a 15? I feel like that's a good price. I don't know. Is that good? That's got to be good. 24 beers, $31. What's a 2.6?
24 of
$30?
24 of Pilsner, $35.99.
So $4, and I get the green label versus the white.
Yeah.
But if I'm drinking that shit, like I'm just chilling it anyways. But so I mean,
You're shotgunning it. No one drinks it.
yeah, but
24 PBR, $34.49.
so it's the same thing.
Yeah, buddy.
So all 34. That I feel like that's good
It's a
prices.
great price.
Has beer gone down? Like it's
No.
There's no way it's gone down, but there's no way it was.
Not
Has
what
it
we
always-
used to be.
Right. It's funny how booze prices don't move around kind of like everything else. They kind of incrementally go up like $1 or something.
Beer prices go up every year when the government increases the tax on them.
But it's
And you go up like 20 cents a pack.
yeah, but it's never
So you never notice it.
right. Like it's never super aggressive.
No.
Like
The diehards notice it when you cross a $1 threshold. Like if something was $19.99 and
Yeah.
now it's $20.19, so it's gone up 20
yeah,
cents.
yeah.
They'll notice.
And what will they do? Sell.
It's like when Old Milwaukee went from 5% to 4.9. People had a fit. Absolute fit. Went
Because
nuts.
of the percentage point in the alcohol?
Yeah, from 5% down to 4.9. 0.1%.
Who are these people and who hears the complaints?
Uh,
So, again, the people who like the cheap stuff.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
who are the people in this story?
Complaining?
Yeah.
Avid customers buying Old
Yeah, but
Milwaukee.
what are they doing? They're
complaining
buying
to the liquor store.
to the
Then the
because
liquor
you're
store
talking.
feeds that back.
Got it. Okay, so you're talking about. So you're saying that the clerk will tell you stories about some shitty asshole going, "Where's my 0.01%?"
Oh, they'll email in, like, to the website.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
they're pieces of shit enough that they're ordering 12 packs of Old Milwaukee that they'll bitch to the clerk, which I understand in the frustration in the moment. But then they'll continue their vitriol when they get home and they're emailing Old Milwaukee, or I guess that Molson.
Old Milwaukee's us.
Oh, okay.
I'll still drink it, but I won't like it. You know? That kind
That's
of
what they
mentality.
say. And what are they hoping to get? An extra beer?
I have no idea. It's what 0.1%. Like I said, it's not.
It's literally nothing. Over 12 beers, is that a quarter of a sip? Like I can understand if your vodka went from 40% to 24%, then
Right.
you've got to double the value. But from 40 to 38%, that's still a spirit. Like that's still a.
Of course.
But I guess there's people that are fucking nuts. There's nuts people out there.
I don't know the last time I checked the percentage of the alcohol that was in anything I bought.
Oh well. Now, that's where we'll differ.
When was the last time you looked at a case of beer before you bought it to determine?
Well, definitely with wine I will, and if
you'll
I
look at the alcohol percentage in wine.
Yeah,
Really?
If I'm comparing two, yeah, I will.
Okay.
Because
if you're buying a nicer bottle.
Because I like really dry wines, so I go for a little bit higher. But if it's within reason, if it's a 0.5%, I don't care. Right. But if it's like a 2.5%, that to me is like, okay, I'll take the drier one. Yeah. Okay. But on beer, I assume everything is 5%, unless you get some strong whatever the fuck that they had to pour vodka into it while they were brewing it because it tastes like shit.
Yeah. Between 4.5% and 5.5%.
Yeah, and then I'll think about flavored vodkas. So I will check, like if there is because I remember I used to get the sweet peached iced tea, and there was another iced tea vodka, and one was 38 and one was 33, so I'd like the 38 one. And then if you give me a bottle of like spirits or something, like a schnapps. I don't know why I keep bringing up schnapps as if that's always around, but like 20% versus 18%, like
who cares?
Yeah, but I'd rather the high if I'm going with that.
Sure.
So I guess.
All right.
So I can't side with you.
You're
completely.
a finicky shopper.
Well, I mean, no, I'm an alcoholic. So there, right. So there is that kind of like, well, if I'm going to do this, like, let's do it right kind of thing.
Right.
Which is why it kind of takes away from me popping in to have a quick pint with Mikey in that event. You know what I mean?
And the story comes full circle.
Well, I don't know if Mike's ever popped in for a quick beer. I don't know if I've ever had one beer with Mike.
I have. But that's just because we live close together.
You guys live close?
Walking by, hey, can I stop in?
And you're beer guys, too.
And we're also beer guys. Well, he claims to not be really a beer guy.
Yeah, he's definitely his hard alcohol drinking has went up immensely. To the point that he acts like his triple vodka is a him thing. Like at work, he orders triple vodka, martinis. And he acts like he's been doing that forever.
So he's unoriginal.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's for sure the triple vodka at the keg through management. There is no question. It's the Fiona. Right. The original triple vodka. It's a fancy way to fancy up your drink.
Right.
So, while I never have had a Fiona, well, I've had one, but that was never my drink of choice. But the vodka soda splash grapefruit is my cocktail. But the whole point is the martini side of it.
Sure.
So I never order a pint. But so Mike stole it from two other better managers.
He's just out there to have a good time.
No, it's drinking. But now it's not beer anymore.
No, but I'll have beers with him. I can convince him to have a beer with me.
Yeah. But
if I bring it.
But you just said that he says that he drinks hard, and I'm vouching for him that he does. I'm just saying he stole the alcoholism from me.
I know that he. I know that he really.
He saw me so successful,
right?
And he just decided to jump on the bandwagon.
I know
this guy seems. He only has 2 drinks and he just puts away so much. It's like, yeah, he puts the whole bottle in that one glass. Shit, I can do that. I don't even have to drink all 10 of these shitty beers. He can walk around so much lighter. You know what I mean? Talk to every table. Sorry, anyways, go ahead.
I mean, I know. Unfortunately, he hates barbecues, right? And having barbecues and barbecuing things.
I think it's against his religion.
He's anti-barbecue. Hates them. Which is too bad because there is something to be said for having a cold beer while even if you're just flipping burgers on the barbecue outside in the summer. You know what I mean? You got the beer on the side of the barbecue. It's ice cold. You're standing by the grill. You're shooting the shit with another buddy who's watching you grill. The women are doing what they do. The men are standing around the grill having a beer. So if he enjoyed barbecues just in general, which he hates, hates barbecues, doesn't want anything to do with them, has never had one, doesn't enjoy them, would never host one or be involved in one.
Why would he?
He hates them.
Well, I think that's actually
get him into beer.
I'm sure there's plenty of reason to have barbecues or
to hate them.
Oh well, I'm just saying. Well, there's got to be an aversion to not. You have to hate them to turn down the reasons.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like you'd be like, oh, we should celebrate this, or hey, you're coming in from out of town. Why don't we have a barbecue? Or it's a beautiful day, or oh, you helped me move. Why don't we barbecue? Something like that.
Right.
You go, okay, it's beautiful summer. Let's do it. But in order to not do that, you have to hate it.
Yes.
Maybe there's some trauma from childhood.
Past barbecues?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Maybe his
a weird uncle or something.
died in a propane accident.
Oh.
You know what I mean? It's like the reverse of Zoolander. It wasn't the gasoline fight. Maybe they were just spraying stinky gas on each other.
Right.
And one of the Phantoms died. Rest in peace. But I will say, speaking of barbecues and beer, when you're describing... See, again, when I tell you that story about the Corona, I'm describing the situation, right?
Yes.
There is something to be said, and this is a non-beer guy. Opening a cooler when it's filled with ice and you've got like a variety... Having a fuck ton of beer is definitely number one. But having a good amount of beer and a nice variety and just like good buddies where you're just like, you can grab anything, that there is something magical about that.
Yes.
When it's hot, you open, it's a clean white cooler. I can see it in my head. The multicolors where it's just like boom. Or or even better, once you've had a couple and you look over at your buddy, you're talking, you just reach down and you just know you're gonna grab something.
You go to the bottom where it's coldest.
Yeah, and it's just like you're gonna come up with something. You don't have to fish around. You know what I mean? Oh, you know when you're camping and it's dark and you're like, oh, fuck, I think there's things in here. Oh yeah, there is plenty of good things about having beer. But yeah,
it's when you're at somebody's place and they go, "What can I get you?" And you go, "Just give me a cold beer." And you go, "Well, what kind do you want?" I got this, and I go, "Just get me a cold beer. I just want a cold beer."
Yeah. I'm not too finicky.
No, but then they throw you some bullshit that they don't want to drink themselves, right? So there's that side of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe that's what would happen at Mike's place if he had barbecues and invited you over.
Could be. We'll never know.
We will never know. I will say, though...
We should talk football 26 minutes into this.
Oh.
Or we could just go off the cuff. I mean, we haven't been successful in 6 years talking football. Maybe people just... Maybe we'll get more views.
Okay, well, yeah, all right. Yeah, well, that's great. I don't even know how we started there. How did we get there?
I cracked a beer at the start of every episode,
and we talked about that. Well, lately you've been having these.
Yeah,
the session IPAs.
Yeah,
I just noticed because
it's a low IBU, like 30 IBU, so it's not heavy and chewy, and it's 4.1%, so it's low alcohol. It's perfect. It's a beer with It's a beer with flavor. It's low alcohol.
I was gonna take a sip, but there's almost nothing left in that.
No.
I don't want your monkey piss.
No, I got another cold one in there.
It was the moment's gone.
Dust in the wind, Pop.
Dust in the wind. Okay, well, week 8. Oh, sorry, podcast 8, week 7, or podcast 7, week 7.
We're going into week 8.
We're going into week 8.
I have no idea what episode we're on, but
we're going into week 8. We're halfway. We are halfway. This is the will he make it? Won't he make it? Yeah, this is that episode, right?
Well, we gotta run it down quickly because we're running.
Well, obviously we have to do it quickly. Okay, I've got. Oh fuck! There's Chinese on the way. We got a whole situation going on. Okay, so will he make it? Won't he make it? Make sure to put a timestamp on the YouTube video.
Sure.
25 minutes is when we start.
When
we even reference football.
Sure.
When we stop talking about our drinking problems.
Yeah.
I say ours as a group.
Well, there's 12 alcoholics.
Yeah, like who in the group doesn't drink too much or hasn't drinking too much
recently?
No. Just in general.
Who's the lowest? Who is the least?
Yeah, like who is like
Sully?
No, but he isn't a big drinker now, but he is.
But I'm just one of the younger guys who doesn't have the history of it.
It's funny that you said because the only person I can think of who hasn't said. Because even Sully has said, like, I'm not saying I have drinking problems. I've taken off time from large amounts of time from drinking, for example, right? We talk about the clink for a reason, right? So and I'm not saying that anybody else needs to go in that route, and I'm definitely not saying that about Sully, but maybe I'll rephrase the question: who of the 12 hasn't been at some point a massive partier where they were the drinker of the group?
He would be my best guess.
Oh, well then you haven't drinking with Sully. That's easy.
That's what I'm saying. That's how
got it.
Savage our group is.
Right, because Sully can put it away.
Yeah, so who are you like?
I would say Brad Friend.
I feel like he had his time.
Did he?
Maybe.
And Paul's not really a huge drinker.
He also, I feel like he had his time. He's French though, red wine.
Yes, he's a big wine guy, like for sure. But he can't drink beer. It gives him acid reflux, and he's had surgery. You seen the scars on the front of his neck?
Yeah, he's got. Well,
he's got like fucking reflux that is like scarred his esophagus. He's had really, really serious surgeries about it. So I know now. Paul will drink. Paul's a great drunk too. He's one of those rarities. He doesn't really get drunk that often. Like I have a cigar with Paul. At least, probably once, twice a month, we get together and we sit down and we'll have a cigar. And we hang out or we meet up or whatever.
Okay.
And it's, even when I'm not drinking, it's not like he drinks. Like, we'll go out and, like, if he was here, if we did a podcast together, me and Paul, there's a good chance at no point would he have a drink if I wasn't drinking. And I haven't had a drink on a podcast on a podcast? When was the last time I had it?
Over a year, I guess. Right? 2 years?
2 years? 3 years?
Yeah.
Have to be. It wasn't
right.
when,
Yeah.
It was never in this studio. It was been in the
one. It was the old studio.
Yeah.
We don't speak about that one.
Yeah, well, the one we demolished and it's useless now. But yeah, you know what I mean. So if it was with Paul, there would be no alcohol at the podcast.
So Paul's your pick.
No, Brad Friend.
Oh, Brad Friend's your pick.
That's I'm guessing the same way I say that about Brad Friend is probably what you're saying about Sully.
Right.
Because there's probably somebody's listening to this right now and going, Brad Friend, are you fucking kidding me? That guy was on a tear for 5 years.
Yeah.
Or there's enough, he got nuts and flipped some tables and fucking rioted, or he was a pussy hound or whatever the fuck back in the day. I just know him now. He'll have a couple of pints, but nothing outrageous ever. No. I can't even. Yeah. He's kind of is he a mouthy drunk? I imagine he is.
Well, him and Hinton almost fought at my house.
Right, yeah, because he's a mouthy drunk. But it can be an angry drunk. Hinton's usually a fantastic drunk. What the fuck happened that time? I can't even... I don't
know what happened either. It just got aggressive.
Yeah. Well, I've seen Hinton get aggressive a few times.
Okay.
And he is not somebody you want to be aggressive with. He's fucking terrifying. Angry Hinton, get out of the way. Get out of the way. I'm not interested in him at all.
Who is?
Nobody. But Hinton has definitely... I've partied with Hinton to the best. Hinton doesn't even drink right now.
How are we back on this? Okay. I thought we were doing...
Okay, I don't even know. Okay, whatever. Okay, stop drinking, don't stop drinking, whatever the fuck is going on. Okay. So this is when we get halfway.
Okay, so you want to talk about make it or break it, or will he or won't he?
Will he or won't he?
Or do you want to talk about $31 on Tyler Algier?
Oh, I would love to talk about that.
Okay.
Which one? What do you want to do?
$20 on Paris Campbell?
No. We're gonna stick on Tyler Algier because I'm
$20 on.
I've got 5 minutes on you. You want to hear that now?
$20 on Bateman?
I've got 5 minutes on you, but Chinese is gonna be here in 1 minute.
Well, we'll pause for the Chinese.
Okay. Well, then you might as well pause for the Chinese.
Well, okay. All right. We're gonna refresh our beverages.
Yeah,
we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Willie or won't he?
Willie or won't he?
Starting from the top or the bottom?
Wherever. Let's start at the bottom. It's probably most important.
Start at the bottom. Paul Lalonde, 0-7.
Yeah.
He just lost Gus Edwards.
Oh, right.
Potentially.
Which would have won him his match last week. I feel bad for Paul.
Mike Williams is out.
Okay.
Bateman's dead. He's got Damian Williams in his IR spot.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing the classic pick between Kenny Pickett and Jared Goff week to week.
Yeah.
Ramondre Stevenson's been nice.
Those are his two quarterbacks?
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay.
What's he do? I think he just fold up shop. 0-7. He's got to win out.
Does he have to win this week?
Yeah.
Who's he playing? What's his matchup?
I
know you really wanted to blow through this.
He's playing Hinton.
Well, Hinton doesn't have a dominating squad. No. What did Gus get today?
6.5.
Oh!
And Hinton only got 3 from Mark Andrews.
So, yeah, he can probably beat Hinton. What are you looking at there?
He's projected to beat Hinton.
Yeah. So, okay. So, he's not out.
He's not out.
But he's got to win out.
So,
he's got to turn... So, Williams is out. He's got to turn...
He's got to trade Mike Williams and maybe Derrick Henry.
So, is that it? Is that all that he's got tradable? Who's his tight end?
Ramondre Stevenson. Pat Freiermuth.
Yeah, so Ramondre isn't going to get him anything... Ramondre will get him something, but what do you give him?
But I think you just roll Ramondre and trade Derrick Henry for a lesser running back and then another wide receiver.
Right, like Miles Sanders and Adam Thielen. right?
Better than Adam Thielen, but in
But
those terms.
right, like it's just top of my
Yeah.
head, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
is that an Olave and Daryl Henderson?
Something.
Right,
Something.
like some version of
Yeah.
that. Try to get two,
Yeah.
and that's just it. So I'm cheering for Paul today, this week. Then,
You're cheering for Paul.
yeah, just this week.
Big Paul guy.
I'm always a Paul guy.
For sure. Willie or won't he?
Well, I have to go with the odds. I have to say he won't.
Okay.
Just because it's just too fucked.
It's too fucked.
And Paul, you gotta. I don't know what you gotta do, but you gotta do something. Fuck. You gotta do exactly what I just said.
He's got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Amit.
What do you give Paul for? Oh, you're in a fight for the top. You can't give up any of your stuff. Because even if you, okay, whatever. Amit.
1-6.
Yeah.
Dak, Najee, Zeke, Tyreek, Godwin, Kittle, Higgins, Lockett, Damian Harris, Tyler Boyd on the bench.
I looked at his team. It's shit. He's out.
He's just out.
He's out. He just got
Higgins is now the number one.
Yeah.
Higgins could be the.
But he's got Higgins and Boyd. And what does he have? Anything else?
Tyreek Hill has been great. Tyreek's number 4.
Yeah, but who's his quarterback? Dak. And who's his tight end?
Kittle.
Oh, yeah, fine. Maybe
He's 1-6.
he's
got
1-6 though.
He's got
Yeah.
maybe one, maybe
probably
2 losses.
not. Yeah, like I go without because
He's out.
yeah,
You got to find 4 that are out, pal. You found 2.
okay. Yeah.
This isn't going to go on very long if we keep going this
Yeah.
way.
Okay. Yeah.
Sully, 3-4.
I like Sully's team.
Andy Dalton, Aaron Jones, Kenneth Walker, Cooper Kupp, Zay Jones, Zach Ertz, DK Metcalf. Is he hurt? Metcalf got hurt, right?
Yeah.
Jacoby Myers. He's got Cam Akers on the bench, Keenan Allen on the bench, Aaron Rodgers are of note. Cam Akers, we're waiting to see if he gets traded.
Yeah.
But I think he's just done.
Even if he gets traded, what is his best case scenario?
But Sully's got 3 studs in Aaron Jones, Kenneth Walker, and Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, that's what I like.
So he can win week to week and pick up wins.
He could.
He's not very well balanced, but
again, he can do the he could do the exact same trade we're talking about to upgrade a little bit in both, right? Like
trade Cooper Kupp.
Exactly. Or you could get whatever we just said about Henry. Like he can shore up. He could take a little bit of a hit from one of those 2 guys, but Cooper Kupp definitely same to upgrade a little bit.
Right.
And his team's coming on strong right now.
Right.
Like his team looks better with Walker than it did with Penny and Walker. Right. So I don't hate it. I don't want to say he won't.
Okay. We'll hold off on him.
Yeah, all these 3 and 4 guys. So I love this is the position I want to be in.
Team Mike. That's what I'm trying to do.
Right.
Mikey, Geno Smith, Mixon,
Yeah.
Damian Pierce, Debo, Sutton, Kyle Pitts, Miles Sanders, Alan Lazard, who I think is out.
Yeah.
Players of note on his
Kyle
bench.
Pitts is out.
Players of note on
Kyle Pitts has been out for 7 weeks.
Players of note on his bench he doesn't have any.
I got offered. Okay, I just lost Mark Andrews today. I complained about it.
Yeah.
Buddy texts me and says, "Hey, saw Andrews got hurt. I don't know the severity of the injury. I know he's got a bye week in the next 3 weeks, whatever." And he goes, "You want to make a trade for Kyle Pitts?" My response was, "I don't need 2 tight ends with 0 points on my bench. I don't know that I picked Kyle, and it's a fucking dynasty league. I don't even know if I pick Kyle Pitts up if he's on the wire. If Taysom Hill, Kyle Pitts, and who's the tight end in Los Angeles right now? The Chargers guy that's having an okay year. Everett. Taysom Hill, Everett, and Pitts. Is it a guarantee you're picking up Pitts?
Everett.
Sorry, yeah, and Everett.
Everett's the guy I'm picking up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Everett, Pitts, Hill.
I'll throw Freiermuth in there. I'll throw Dalton Schultz in there. Like, you have to think about it. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like...
It's sad because he's the next guy into that top 3 of Pitts, Andrews,
He was supposed
Kelsey,
to be. He
right?
was the Kittle Waller version of that.
He's going to jump those
in there. So it's...
So you don't like Mikey's chances?
Well, no. Lazard's hurt. I mean,
Lazard's hurt. Debo's hurt. He has nothing on his bench to supplant those guys. Kyle Pitts hasn't been great.
But you named 3 good. Mixon, Sanders...
Pierce, and Sanders.
And Pierce.
Yeah. She's got great running backs.
Yeah.
He's,
Okay, so he's right on. So yeah, okay. Keep going. You're up next.
I'm up next.
Dreams and Anatomy AR.
Dreams Anatomy IR.
IR. Yeah.
You know, we were talking about how my team every week just gets more and more hurt, right? And last week I lost Njoku, who's been a fine startable tight end.
Who was, and if he's healthy, I'm picking him up over Pitts too.
Of course. But you don't talk about how one of my top running backs, Elijah Mitchell, who got hurt in the first week, finally he's about to come back. I've been holding on to him this whole time, and then Christian McCaffrey goes and gets traded to his team. So he's zero value.
Yeah, even with your help, you got fucked.
Even when I'm about to get healthy, I'm getting fucked.
Which is the points that I wanted to talk about in a second here. But anyways, continue.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So,
that's okay.
The nice thing is I made it through my Jalen Hurts bye week with a win.
Yep.
So I got Jalen Hurts, Alvin Kamara, DeAndre Swift is finally back, Mike Evans, Wandale. I'm rolling Gesicki this week.
Yeah.
I got Melvin Gordon, Romeo Doubs. On the bench, it's just a bunch of hurt bags. Hollywood Brown, David Njoku, Eno Benjamin, Kadarius Toney, and Cordero Patterson. So Cordero's back next week.
Yeah.
Which I'm happy about.
I saw him running last week.
I like that. So I got another flex option.
Mm-hmm.
I need a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Or can I just survive till Hollywood comes back?
We don't. No, you're not desperate for a wide receiver. You need a tight end. You need a tight end and a wide receiver. Yeah. But that's not bad.
No.
But yeah, you haven't been getting any help. So if you could squeeze another win out this week, you might be okay. And your Eagles defense they're getting 14 points a game.
They're carrying
100%. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. This year, you take what you can fucking get.
It's one of the first years where I always stream defense.
Yeah.
And I think I might have picked them up in week 2. And I don't think I've ever just dropped them or not played them. So it's kind of nice to just have that locked in, and I'll just play them forever. I will never not play them.
But you will also, but that doesn't mean that your strategy was incorrect. Meaning, you didn't draft them early.
No. I didn't draft them.
Exactly. That's the whole point, right? Like, we would have taken the Saints defense would be an early defense. The Bills, but the Bills have, Bucks is a good example. Like, even the top 8 defenses, like the 4 through 8s, have been good, but not draft early good. So it'd been like the Bills, the Eagles, the Pats have been okay, but there's nobody like based on this year. I'm not hoping to God that I'm not drafting the Eagles super early.
Right.
Like it still hasn't changed. You know, we always talk about that year Hinton was going to keep the Bears.
Right.
Right, and it's just like. Okay, go ahead and fucking keep them. And the next year they fell off 30%. They're still good, but you don't draft early. You pick up the Eagles at some point, or you pick up the Cowboys at some point, or you take the Bills around early. But you don't go crazy. But this is your first year. You got them. They're locked in. But you lock in those guys, and the Eagles are good. Eagles have trading power right now.
You think
100%
for a defense?
I think if you're smart enough, yes. I think so. I think if I would trade, like if I was giving you Kelsey to fix your tight end problem, and you were giving me Mike Evans and Eno Benjamin, and you threw in the Eagles D, that might make me go, okay, I'll take Mike Evans and Eno to back up Connor. If the Eagles D are in that, I'll give you the Pats D back.
Right.
Do you get what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Like it's not like you're not taking a huge hit, but that is a sweetener. Other people might see that in a trade and get annoyed. Right. Why is he throwing me a fucking defense? I don't want a defense. I know I've tried to do that to other people before in the past and throw in a defense where I'm like, hey, this is also a great... I'm not doing it to insult you. I'm doing it because I'm looking at your defense, and this isn't just this week. I'd never add to it if I didn't think it was added. Because I know that you trying to trade me a defense comes off disrespectfully.
Right.
So I would like you to take a look at it and go... Oh, yeah, they've got better matchups than my guys in the next 3 weeks. So you don't have to worry about the stream.
Don't have to worry about it. Okay.
Yeah. So, I think you keep plugging along.
Will he or won't he?
I say yeah.
Of course, pal.
I say yeah, but it would be the...
I'd like to get healthy.
Well, it would have... We might have been having a different conversation if you lost last week.
Yep.
Right? And that's the Paul messages being goes, should I start Bateman or Edwards? And I said... I said I have both. I'm starting Bateman in a league. But if he would have started Edwards, he would have won. So I felt bad about that advice, but it's a different conversation. But your team was always going to be on the back half of this after the first 3 weeks. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like you were just like, fuck it, let's go hard.
Let's survive and see what I can come.
Yeah.
See what I can.
So I say I would. Yeah, I would. But it's fantasy, and this year's fuckery. Anyways, so we'll say yes.
Okay. I like that a lot. We got Hinton up next, 3 and 4. Kyler Murray, CMC, Latavius Murray, Stephon Diggs, Brandon Cooks, Mark Andrews, Pittman, and Chuba. On the bench, Khalil Herbert is a nice piece to have. That's kind of about it. Chase Edmonds to back up.
Nothing. It's
Andrews just got hurt. Let's see how long he's out for.
Yeah.
Latavius doesn't do much for me. I think McCaffrey takes a step up.
Yeah.
Maybe not in as much volume, but more quality.
But I agree. But in the same sense, it's the reverse of what happened to your team, right? Which is kind of why I wanted to talk about this, about these ad drops and trades and whatnot.
Okay.
And I'll connect it in a little bit in case we don't get to it because we're already running long. But he is the example of why you this year why you have the backup. Because I wanted to go into, because we've always talked about this, because the handcuffs have not only would have helped me this year having my handcuffs,
Yeah.
but only because I took lottery ticket handcuffs elsewhere. But Hinton is a perfect example. He had Chuba Hubbard to back up Christian McCaffrey, and McCaffrey gets traded. Boom, he has another starter.
Not knowing that Deonta Foreman's the actual guy.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that rush to the waiver wire to get Chuba Hubbard, he got 15 points.
It's a handcuff in a different way. That's a handcuff for a guy that got traded, not a guy that got hurt.
Which is another
When
example.
you have your handcuff,
but
it's
if
a
you
net
have
0.
But even for this week, Zeke and Pollard, you're happy you have Pollard,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean? This is my whoever I picked up instead of Eno Benjamin. If I would have had Connor and Benjamin, I'd have been fine. I would have had 2 more wins.
But you have Kareem Hunt, and you'd rather him get traded than Chubb get hurt.
A perfect example. Yes, but if that same thing can happen, Chubb gets if I have Chubb and Hunt, Chubb gets traded, boom, I've got him too.
Of course.
So this is in a strange year. The handcuff, I think, is more necessary this year than otherwise. Than it has been in the past. I've always been a big handcuff guy, and I don't know if I've had tons of examples of where that has argued well against your stance of it doesn't matter, we're in a fab league, fucking spend the money if they're out there, and hope that one of your guys that you have as a flyer hits. And what I'm saying is this year is the one year that I feel more confident in the handcuff has been way better than whatever the flyers are on the. Maybe that's the other thing I'm saying.
What I'm telling you is that if you have Dalvin Cook and he puts up 20 points a week, and you have Alexander Madison on your bench, right, and he puts up 0 points a week,
right?
Dalvin Cook gets hurt, Madison goes in,
yeah,
he puts up 20 points a week. It's a net 0. You didn't lose anything. You didn't gain anything. You didn't lose anything.
Yeah.
You have Dalvin Cook. He puts up 20 points a week. I have Alexander Madison on my bench.
Yeah.
Now Dalvin Cook gets hurt. You lose 20 points. I gain 20
yeah,
points.
But
it's more advantageous for me to have your handcuff in that situation.
Of course.
Than it is for you.
But in my case, and Hinton's case, and whoever has Zeke right now,
yeah,
their case, all examples of where the
but
handcuff would have helped us versus Nightingale spending $35 on Garrett Wilson.
Wouldn't have helped you. Would have just lessened your blow.
Yeah, well, in a game of inches and where a win means a lot, the lessening of the blow, because Raheem Mostert goes down, Hinton has Edmonds, Bradford's fucked. That's to back up your point, though, I guess.
That's backing up my point. So you like Hinton. Hinton's an in for you? I don't know. Cooks, Andrews is hurt, Pittman can't do anything, Chuba, who knows, Latavius Murray, I don't want.
I mean, I don't believe in Hinton's fantasy football abilities.
He's out.
Yeah, so we'll put him out. I think I like Mike and Sully's teams better.
Okay. The King and his men, 4 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Kirk Cousins, David Montgomery, Jonathan Taylor. He's got CeeDee Lamb, Sun God, Irv Smith, Allen Robinson.
He loves Irv Smith.
Tony Pollard. James Robinson on the bench, Drake London on the bench.
James Robinson, perfect example. If you had Etienne and Robinson, boom.
You win. Yeah. That's a trade, though. That's not...
I'm saying it's another... But if Etienne went down, it's another... This has been another year where... I'm saying, maybe that is how I should preface it. The change this year where a couple of running backs have moved have added another layer to why having your handcuff is important. It's never been a factor before. This year, it might be.
So do you then now look at, is that another layer to the draft next year of people who do a little bit more deep research? If there's a tie between two guys, do you pick the guy who's a free agent next year?
I get it.
Right? Take the guy whose contract is expiring and he might be on the outs.
The Josh Jacobs of the world.
But he's going to put up a bunch of points and then maybe they deal him if they're not doing so good. And you go, all right, well, perfect. Now I have Eno Benjamin because James Conner just got traded.
Yeah, well,
and now I have both guys.
Right. Well, it is another layer because it is also what kind of style do you play fantasy? Like, are you a set it and forget it and whatever? Like, Nightingale's been resting on the laurel that is the hit that is Josh Jacobs.
Right.
Right? But he's never had Bolden or Zamir White on his bench. And he's got 2 empty bench spots at one point. What I'm saying is that that's arrogance. That's useless arrogance. That he doesn't need to have whatever. I don't know.
It's resting on his hot start.
Yes.
And I don't know that it's understanding where his team actually will be when the rest of the league settles down.
Right. Like for you having Elijah Mitchell, Kurt celebrating Jeff Wilson and not doing anything with him. Yeah. Versus putting Jeff Wilson and Lamar Jackson.
Builds up a nice record.
Oh.
So now, why am I losing 3 weeks in a row?
Yeah.
Oh, because guys got help.
Yeah, because exactly. It's not paying attention to it. Exactly.
So sorry, we're back on Perry.
Perry, go ahead. Hit me with it again.
Cousins, Montgomery.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb, Sun God.
Yeah.
Irv Smith.
Yeah.
Tony Pollard, Drake London, Allen Robinson, James Robinson.
It's a fine team.
He's going to start.
But
Jonathan
he's 4
Taylor,
and 3. But he's 4 and 3.
Tony Pollard this week, so he's going to have nice running backs.
Yeah.
See if Sun God can get healthy.
But he's going to be. But he's 4 and 3.
He's 4 and 3.
Okay, so I like him above the other guys.
Okay, you're up next, pal.
Okay.
You had Tom Brady put up 20 for you this week,
which is fuck. In the year of quarterback, I'll take that.
Yeah. Darrell Henderson, Michael Carter, who should be okay this week.
Well, think about that. This is my 0 RB, but not by choice, because I went every RB. But when I drafted, been thinking about this. So when I drafted Derrick Henry and James Conner as my starting 2 running backs, right? And then I traded Henry while Conner was still healthy. So then I technically lose both my starting running backs. But all of my other running backs were all 0 RB running backs, right? Like, that's what I've been taught. Where the fuck did a mosquito come from? Anyways, it's talking about my Dillons, my Hunt, my Cart, my whatever the fuck, the other guys that I've got. I've been waiting for that. But now it's like, okay, finally, maybe Michael Carter gets up. Oh, now James Robinson goes over. So I'll get one good week out of him. Finally Cam Akers wants a trade. Whatever, Darrell Henderson's there. But I went and I paid for his backup.
Okay, now here's the thing, though. Here's where your handcuff situation and trade doesn't work because you've got Michael Carter. Now you're pumped because Breece Hall gets hurt. Perfect, you've got Michael Carter. Oh, fuck, they instantly go and trade for a guy who's a better running back.
Right, that takes away. It's. Right.
That's the other thing.
I get what you're saying.
Is a contending team, if Miles Sanders goes down, are they going to sit with Kenneth Gainwell? No, they're going to go try to trade for Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. That could be a counter argument that I hadn't factored in. Okay. Yeah, that's not bad. I don't know. I feel the same way about my team this year that I did last year. Yeah. I like that I didn't drop DJ Moore. There's a trade example that I don't hate.
Yeah.
I dropped DJ Moore in the other 2 leagues that I had him in, and finally, of course, he went off.
Now he's the hotness.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with Travis Kelce? You've had him on your team for way longer than
I tried to move him to every single all the top 3 teams this week. All of them denied me. All of them.
It's because their top 3 teams aren't as good as their record shows.
Well, I mean,
It's the New York Giants. Up there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was Kelsey for
Even the Carolina Panthers are going to lead the NFC South.
Right. Like, I think I offered Brad, I think it was like Etienne for Kelsey or something like that.
Okay.
And he denied it. But it's like, okay, yeah, Hawkinson probably carries you. But it's like, I would tell me to fuck off. Well, I wouldn't. I'd take Kelsey for Etienne, no problem.
But would you rather have Hawkinson and Etienne or Kelsey and...
I'd rather Kelsey than everybody. I'm not taking Etienne in the first round. So,
no.
I mean, not right now. Right. So, and Kelsey's a first rounder. It's a difference maker, especially now that Andrews is out. It's not even a fucking question. Brad tells me to fuck off because Kelsey's on a bye. But that's the only way I'm trading Kelsey right now.
Of course.
For doing a trade I wouldn't otherwise do.
Also to a team that's 6-1.
Exactly.
Can afford to take. Oh, I'll take a loss this
exactly.
week.
And once we get to Brad's team, you'll see he's got like 4 good running backs. So there was no damage to him other than an upgrade for me at running back and an upgrade for him at tight end. Right. And I didn't even want his other tight end back. And I don't even know who I'm fucking starting this week. But
it's what I did last year when I was like 7-0 or 8-0, and I traded for Chubb, who was still out for 2 weeks.
Perfect example.
And Hopkins, who was on a bye. And I got rid of Keenan Allen, James Robinson, and somebody else.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I might lose this week, but...
But you just go, it doesn't matter. 2 weeks from now, if that means that I'm going to be a stud,
if I go from 7-0 to 7-2, and then I just run the table.
Yeah, if you take, say, Cordero Patterson's back next week, like Cordero Patterson and we'll say Elijah Mitchell was coming back next week, okay? And then you move those two, and Brad gives you, we'd say the equivalent of Mike Evans back.
Right.
You take that fucking trade.
Of course.
But that's fine. If you want to rest it being the top, Brad Patterson's fantasy football story should be, I'm in the top 3 in points, and then I spend $40 on Alexander Madison and then drop him. Right? Like, you know what I mean?
It's true.
I'm just saying. Like, Brad always drafts well. He always, but it is, and I've traded with, Brad's a good fantasy player, but he always Brad having a winning record going into the playoffs is the norm. It's not. It's the rule. It's not the exception.
Yeah.
So, fine.
So fine.
It's so fine. So it doesn't really matter. So that whatever.
So you're in. You are 7. You're 7, 8th, or 9th. Is what you're talking.
Probably.
You're feeling like
which is exactly where I want to be, anyways. Right? But it's not the way I like to do it. Because when I'm at the bottom, I'm hungry. So I'm just constantly trying to improve.
You're not malnourished, you're just kind of nourished.
Well, you have a very me team, right? Lots of, this might really help me in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So it might not, but in the event that it does, fuck you, in 4 weeks I feel great.
That's the Elijah Mitchell. Throw him on my IR spot because he's going to help me in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, Christian McCaffrey's there. Goodbye.
Yeah. But my teams have always been that way. Late round pickups, late season ad drops on other people kind of stop paying attention.
Yeah. And
big fucking trades, 2-for-1s that do exactly what. So it's dangerous because one loss boots you out. It's Perry's team last year. We would talk about this on another podcast, but it's Perry's team last year where I remember we were talking, Dalvin Cook, somebody else was on the bench, and he took a loss that week, and it was just like, your team was so fucking good, but you need that edge. And even if he would have made that trade, his team still would have been good. But it's I'm going to run the table. I've ran the table. It's not as easy as it fucking says, but it just takes a will. So anyway, so my end, by odds, sure. But am I feeling great about it? I don't know. I felt really good about my team 5 days ago. I don't know that I do today.
Sure.
But I texted you just the other day, and I said, finally, Michael Carter looks like he'll be something. Daryl Henderson looks like he'll be something. DJ Moore finally looks like he'll be something. Jefferson's off of his bye. Keenan Allen's going to get healthy for next week. Of course, Mike Williams goes down. I got Herbert. It's all of that. So I feel I know I sound like I'm down on it. I feel better about it than I did last week.
Better this week than you did last
week. But I felt fucking horrible. So I don't know.
Kurt's up next. Josh Allen, Antonio Gibson, Deontay Foreman, Amari Cooper, Julio Jones, Dawson Knox, Brandon Ayuk, Tyler Algier, the $30 man.
Yeah.
Eckler on a bye, Clyde on a bye, Jeff Wilson irrelevant. Lamar on his bench. He's got Odell Beckham. on his bench, and Dobbins in his IR spot, who's up for 4 weeks, right?
6.
6? Okay, so Dobbins is done for the year.
Yeah, but
for the fantasy regular. So
well,
if you make the playoffs, he might come back.
All Ravens running backs.
All.
Edwards just got hurt again. I bet you Kenyon Drake is available. We'll all go spend $25, then he'll split with Justice Hill and fucking somebody else the same week. Like it was the same.
It's just not an impressive team, is what I'm looking at. He's Josh Allen and Eckler are carrying.
Talk about resting on your fucking laurels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's funny, you gave us a hard time about the trade for Justin Herbert for J.K. Dobbins and Rashad Bateman, which has been literally a net zero.
Yes.
I've started Brady every week, and I should have, other than 1 week, I believe.
Yeah. And the 1 week you should have started Dobbins. The week Dobbins came back and scored twice.
Right. But even the trade, it's like, even in that situation, that trade has been a net zero. But Lamar Jackson put 40, 40, 40, 40. He could have gotten Josh Allen value. Now, what are you giving for Lamar Jackson? Who had a decent game this week. I think he just put up 20.
Yeah,
20.
but he was 15, 16, 18, 10, 26.
No, that's what I'm saying. So the time to trade him is gone.
Gone.
Right? Like, whoever, whatever roulette you were talking about with Paul Lalonde. It's like he's not giving up Lamar Jackson isn't really sweetening the deal for Derrick Henry.
No, but does Paul try to trade him Mike Williams, who's out, and something for Lamar Jackson?
Great call.
Trade him Mike Williams for Lamar Jackson.
Oh, well, Mike Williams is out for 5 weeks.
So?
You're right. I see what you're saying. Some degree of that. Some version of that.
Mike Williams and Gus Edwards or Brian Robinson.
Like, does he give Lamar Jackson, CEH, and I don't know. Give me his team down again. Kurtz, real quick.
Josh Allen, Gibson, Foreman, Cooper, Julio, Dawson, Knox, Ayuk, Algier, Eckler, Clyde, Jeff, Wilson, Lamar.
Yeah, you could have think about that. Lamar and Jeff Wilson 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Could have gotten maybe Derrick Henry. And if he throws in Ayuk.
Something like that.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Because 2 weeks ago, you would have been thrilled about Jeff Wilson, Lamar Jackson, and Ayuk versus now zero. Literally zero.
So Kurt's 4-3.
It's about what kind of manager are you. If you're gonna take all the tight ends, trade the fucking tight ends, not for just the 1 week you can stream them. Ugh, God.
Because you hold them till you got the bye issue, and now you're back to just
exactly. And Josh Allen, so what Kurt could do is once we get to Brad's team, you take fucking Josh Allen and move him for Dalvin Cook. And you start Lamar Jackson, and now he's got Dalvin Cook and the rest of his team. I mean, Josh Allen is a rarity because he's 10 points above everybody else. But other than Nightingale at the top, it's Kurt that has the best quarterback. Kurt, in the top 8, Kurt and Nightingale, who are top 4,
have the
two best quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So it's prime for trade your fucking quarterback down, trade Patrick Mahomes for Tua and Derrick Henry or whatever version of it. Take a little bit of a hit on that to even further bolster your line.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. Because you can't rest. That's just always the point.
They're resting, pal. We got Brad up at 5-2. He's got Tua, Dalvin Cook, Saquon, AJ Brown, Jalen Waddle, Hawkinson, Etienne, Olave. On his bench, Juju's had 2 weeks in a row of good football.
Yeah, great.
Is he coming? 17 and 18 points.
No, he's not.
Okay. No Juju. Well, they just picked up Tony. Jerry Jeudy has not been good. Christian Kirk has fallen off after his start. And Brad's carrying 3 quarterbacks, Russell Wilson and Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, he can drop Russ and Lawrence.
Yeah, and just roll Tua.
And just roll the dice on Tua. Like, what does it matter?
He's got 3, now Etienne taken off, so he's got 3 great running backs.
Yeah.
And 2 good wide receivers in AJ Brown and Jalen Waddle. So
that
seems great.
That's what I'm saying. And there it is. So Etienne and one of those other guys with Kelsey in his tight end spot makes that his team is better. Just swap in his flex somebody else, and Kelsey is
his tight end. Yeah,
tight end. Call it a fucking day. That's what I'm saying. But
Brad's making the playoffs.
Yeah, of course he is.
The other Brad's up next. Joe Burrow.
I love the Brad friend this year.
Joe Burrow.
He's just scrappy. Okay,
He hasn't really done anything.
Well, he's in second place.
What do you mean scrappy though?
He makes lots of ad drops. He spent a lot of money on useless guys.
And not put up very many points.
Yeah. And he's had a lot of injury. Michael Thomas, Terry McLaurin's under all of his team. He's underwhelming. He's got promise. And I mean, he's winning with a lousy team, and he's got potential for more. It's the Brad
picking up wins when you shouldn't.
exactly.
But if things start to bounce your way,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like if I get 2 wins,
or does it finally catch up to you? It could go the other way.
100%. But in this year, it's fucking impossible to say.
Who knows?
Who?
Joe Burrow, Leonard Fournette, Raheem Mostert, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, Goddard, McLaurin, Deontay, Michael Thomas, Darren Waller on his bench, Chase Claypool, Rashad White, Pacheco.
Like, can he take McLaurin and Thomas and turn him into Derrick Henry?
Does McLaurin have any value?
He had an okay game. He does this week because Heineke and him had a good week last week.
Okay.
And Thomas might be coming back. It's all potential.
Oh, God. Thomas. Oof.
But I'm saying...
I'm not touching that guy.
But I'm saying it's all potential.
Yep.
It's that high.
Yep.
Right? It's that, I won't hope that Elijah Mitchell stays on AR while I ride Jeff Wilson.
He could go down to Paul, who would be desperate and needing hope.
Exactly.
And go, I'll give you McLaurin and Deontay Johnson for... I'll give you McLaurin and Deontay Johnson and... Fuck. I don't even know. What do you
McLaurin and Mostert for Henry.
Something like that.
No question.
And throw in somebody else.
But there you go. There's a team. The upgrade there, and you can find 80% of McLaurin.
Yeah,
in
of course.
Corey Davis.
Of course. But he's also in tight end purgatory too, where he's got Goddard and Darren Waller.
Yeah.
And if you drop either of those guys, they get picked up, but they have no trade value.
Yeah, he's the old school Paul Lalonde for that year with Jono Smith and George Kittle.
Sure.
It's exact same thing because we had talked about it. Remember, we were making fun of him for playing him in his flex.
Yep.
Boom, and now he's hurt, so nobody's paying attention. It's like Goddard is doing well, but it's like, okay, well, the point of having 2 stud tight ends is to move one of the tight ends, not to sit with them or play them in your flex. It's to get a better flex.
Yeah.
But will he make? He's the defending champ.
He's 6-1, so he's got to have a really hard fall.
He's scrappy. He's scrappy.
He needs 2 to 3 more wins in a game, so he's fine. Last but not least, Nightingale 6-1. Patrick Mahomes is on a bye, but he's rolling Daniel Jones, Nick Chubb, Josh Jacobs, Garrett Wilson, Adam Thielen, Taysom Hill, Devin Singletary, Jamal Williams. Jamar Chase just got knocked out for 4-6.
Yeah.
Which Nightingale
I don't know,
with because he's 6-1.
Yeah, but what do you think about that? Like, obviously, you start Jamar Chase at any point in time.
Yes.
But
even after the 6.
Yeah, like how you got to get there.
Yeah.
Right, like it's too late for.
It is late.
It's too late for there's nothing you can do.
No.
There's literally zero he can do. He can't trade him to anybody who's hoping for it. Like, there is no hope. He's the guy you trade Jamar Chase to.
Yes.
Right? Cordell Patterson goes to him. Right? So that he
Yes.
can sit with him and hope he gets him in 3 weeks.
Yes.
Right? Like, that's the point. Chase, it's a bad time injury, and it's a bad time to get the injury. Like, it sucks. There's nothing you can do. It's a major hit to his team. But you can, he's so top heavy, because once you get past Mahomes, Chubb, and Jacobs, and Chubb, even though I love Chubb. Chubb's my guy. But Jacobs is batting so fucking far above his head.
Yes.
But he has been for 7 weeks, right? So there is some consistency. Chubb did the same thing, right? So it's
Jacobs had a slow start. Jacobs didn't break.
But the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, but Jacobs didn't break 10 points for the first 3. And then he just went skyrockets. So
yeah. But it's very top heavy. Thielen is his number 1 wide receiver.
Thielen and Garrett Wilson, and that's it now. He's got Hunter Renfrow on the bench and his $40 Josh Reynolds. But I think
I wanted to keep winning,
I think it's the beginning of the end.
Well, fuck. Okay, if
that's
Nightingale's team, I want to come in 8th place and I'll play him week 1, no problem.
100%, and that's why I told you. I'm like, and that's what we've been talking about. It's like I've lost 7 players this year, and I'm still fighting and scrapping, and I'm gonna get better. He's lost 1, and it looks like it's going to be tough sledding the rest of the way.
You know, it's funny because just if I'm thinking about it now, just the whole idea is maybe that has been the key to my success is the other people resting on their laurels. I always make fun of them for doing it. Mm-hmm. But it's always because I'm still scrapping to try to be better for next week while you're living high on the hog. Mm-hmm. And by the time you get one Jamar Chase injury in week 13, I'm coming up against you next week and you're fucked.
Yeah.
And the only reason you made it there is because you got a couple extra wins based on those big weeks earlier, but you were napping while I was in the corners mucking around. And then wasting your money because Nightingale's got no money either.
Weird spends. There's been a few weird spends. There's been a lot of weird spends. Okay, Pop. Well, we're Willie or Wonty. We got 2 Wonties and 10 Willies.
Willie or... Okay, so then we'll say...
We got 2 Wonties in Paul and Amit.
Which sucks.
And we got to pick between Sully, Mike, myself, Hinton, Perry, you, and Kurt.
How many wins does Kurt have?
4.
But he's got Eckler. I'll put...
It may finish as is. It might be Sully and Mikey that mess.
I liked Sully's team more, though.
Okay, then maybe Hinton slides out?
Yeah.
Or does Perry...
Yeah.
Perry always scraps his win.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
It's going to be interesting, pal. 3 through 10 are all within like a game. So there's lots of football to be played.
Tons of football to be played.
Nothing but football.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, kids.
Yeah, that's it.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Skip to minute 25 if you don't want to hear the
you gotta
first.
put that in the description.
Okay, well, I'm telling you now.
Oh.
In case you're one of those people who starts at the end. Bye.
Yeah.